Hello once again and welcome back to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week we are doing episode 56.
LVI.
Yeah, and we're talking about the Romans.
We certainly are.
Anyway, stick around if you want to hear more. Hello.
Hello. Who are you? Why are you laughing already?
I'm Connor and I'm the son of Father and Sundays.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hi. I'm David, or Dad, and I'm father of Father and Sunday. Did you say you were father of...
No, I said I'm son of Father and Sundays.
Okay.
Sorry, that was like the third... This is the third time we've recorded us saying
it's
hello.
Still rubbish.
Yeah. Well...
Talking about third time of recording.
Should we get this out the way first?
Yep.
So, any, I say long-term listeners, whatever, any people who listen...
On a regular basis.
May have noticed that last week there was no podcast.
Yep. Crashed and burned.
Everything went wrong.
First time in 50...
Well, that was the 56th episode. So we did 55 episodes, even
no
sometimes at a push, but it was no problem. 56th, there was a big problem.
Yeah.
And it was to do with just a technical error, and things didn't save properly, and then other things were corrupt, and then we was just all lost in the end.
Some sort of phantom...
Yeah. I tried to... See what had happened in actually going back is you'd gone out, we recorded the podcast, you went out,
Yeah.
had a good time, but it was having problems already. I said I'll sort it out. I came back to it and we'd lost half the podcast, and I thought we'll try to save all of it. I tried to do something and it ended up losing all the podcasts. So
Rubbish.
Sorry for losing half the podcast, but we'd already lost half.
That's all right.
Already.
So we've got to do it all over again.
Yeah, we've got to do it all over again. So we did actually record the Romans in full, which we have taken the opportunity to try and improve it.
Have we? Right, well, I've had to alter the quiz for a start.
Yeah, the quiz has had to be changed.
Because otherwise you're going to know all the answers. In fact, there are still
Let's be
some
honest,
answers.
I probably wouldn't remember.
If it was the other way round, I wouldn't remember any of
primary
them.
school.
No, that's true. But yes, it was a bit of a nightmare, but never mind. Onwards and upwards. And we'll just do it this week.
We took the opportunity to have just a little... We could have forced ourselves to record an episode, but we decided not to. Can you speak?
I can speak, yes. Can you speak?
Yeah, but I need you to speak for a moment.
Okay, I'm going to speak for a moment. So is that enough about that? Enough about their problems? Okay, but talking of phantoms and problems, right?
You don't you don't take a... This is a professional production, and I needed you to
Take over then.
Take over for a moment, but you just couldn't work out the signs.
I couldn't work out the signs, no. Anyway, talking about phantoms causing problems, right?
Yeah,
it's a little segue I've done there. I was reading...
I didn't know you could read.
A couple of weeks ago now. Right, I was reading an article. It popped up on my whatever. And
Where?
It was
did it pop up?
A picture of this woman. You know how they do it with these articles, where if it's a sad story or a difficult story, it's a fairly close-up one of them looking a little bit anguished. So there was this woman looking a bit anguished.
Almost like tabloid type news and like Daily Star and stuff like that.
Yeah. When in our local paper, when someone's lost a pencil, they'll have a real extreme close-up of someone
looking angry,
looking really perplexed, holding a
and then
pencil,
it turns out
like the pencil they lost.
And then it turns out it's actually a jumbo-sized pencil in the back of someone.
Yeah.
That they got from the Durham Pencil Museum.
Yeah. Anyway, there's this woman, and what basically she's saying is she's arguing with her ghost fiance.
Oh,
right?
They're the worst kind of arguments.
Because fiance.
Sorry, because I just thought of a joke, and I'm going to say it, and it's going to sound worse. But because when you're always in the argument, when you're in an argument and you start getting ignored, especially when you've been ghosted. Sorry, that didn't work out.
Oh my God.
Well,
anyway,
I couldn't think of what I was trying to say.
She's been arguing with her ghost fiance. Keep thinking, right? Ghost fiance about dates for their wedding. Right?
Yeah.
She's genuinely, she thinks she's getting married to this guy. He doesn't want a summer wedding because, and I quote, he'll melt.
So it's a very fair point. If you are aware that you're going to melt, it might be ideal not to.
Yeah, but he's not a ghost of a snowman or anything like that.
Have you checked his name?
No,
It
she
could be
doesn't give a
Frosty.
name. I think she's kept his identity secret because I think
He's tried to write it down, but she just...
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. Apparently,
right,
the
okay.
churches are reluctant to marry them. What a big surprise that is.
Yep.
But the bit that really
Someone
got
would do
me, yeah, he sends her messages in the shower.
Interesting.
So now, I thought if he was sending her messages in the shower, I've seen lots of films, horror films and whatnot, that have, you get the steamed up window of the shower and then suddenly there'll be a squeaky sound and there'll be writing appearing on it, right, where he's sending her a message. Right? I thought that's bound to be it. When I read it, that's not how he does it.
No?
Apparently, he communicates with her by making the water go hot and cold.
Oh, like binary code.
Binary code?
Yeah, like binary, yes or no, ones
Yeah,
and
but
zeros.
that gets really ridiculous then.
But
So
she has to know binary code.
she needs to know binary code. She needs to have already established. So it suddenly, I guess that it'll go hot, and she'll go, "Oh, he wants to ask me a question." You go, "Do you want me to ask a question?" And if hot is yes, it'll be hot. But then it's very much her driving the conversation.
Yeah, it's like
isn't it?
it's very close questions. You can imagine how does she get to the fact that would you like to get married in the summer? It's cold. No. And you got to try and work out why not. So the fact is, she went to somewhere like, "Is it because you'll melt?" And he goes, "Hot, yes."
Yes.
But she got to that somehow.
Yeah, she must have thought of that. Anyway, I'd have presumed. See, I thought it was like the window and then like a Ouija board sort of effect, but I guess if you use the sponge and soap, it's more like a squeegee board.
Oh, it's back.
It's back.
For all of you listeners, that's the first time you've heard it. But
I couldn't live it. It made me laugh.
In fairness, when you first said that on the recording before this one, that
Not
imploded,
Ouija board, squeegee board.
you said it and you made it up on the spot.
I did, but
So-
then I had to write it down so I didn't forget it. And finally,
There's more of
'cause
those coming up.
No, finally, because we've got to get on to the subject matter. She said a final
You
thing.
talking
She
about this?
said,
This isn't about the Romans.
no.
All right.
There are so many obstacles to cartwheel over when marrying a dead man. I've got two problems with that. I
Yep.
think I'd say, do not cartwheel over obstacles. It's never going to work,
Yeah,
right?
no.
And don't marry a dead man.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I
Or
thought that
woman.
was quite interesting. I might look out and see if there's any updates on that. Anyway.
Well, like that fastest lemon cake that no one's got back to you on.
Oh, that's terrible. That's really upset me. Well, let's talk about the Romans, right? Let's go on to the subject that we're supposed to be talking about. I'm going to start with this statement, and we're going to roll from this. Romulus and Remus,
Oh, the terrible twins.
right? I knew I wouldn't get to the end of that sentence before you said that. Founded Rome. Now, the reason you go are the terrible twins, because not a lot of people know this. They might find this out over the next few weeks, but you were a child actor, weren't you?
Yeah, well, yes. I'm also rich now.
Yeah, are you? Oh, because you won the lottery.
I won the
that day.
lottery.
Yeah,
Not
but
big,
you were
sorry.
you were a child actor, weren't you?
Just
You were
before
in
anyone tries to mug me.
many productions of your.
No,
Primary school.
in fairness, primary school, yeah,
Lead
I was the lead
parts.
role in quite a lot of the plays.
Well, we'll
Some
come back to
plays.
the other plays that you were in, but
Yeah.
you were actually in. Was it called Romulus and Remus?
The play was called Romulus and Remus. Ah, the terrible twins. That was
Right.
one of the songs.
Which one were you?
I was Remus.
Oh dear,
Reem.
that's a bit sad. Then,
Well,
isn't it?
I can tell you the story if you want.
Tell me a little bit about the story, and I'll see if it matches up to the stuff that I've looked through.
Yeah? Well, Romulus and Remus are the terrible twins, and they were born,
Yes.
but they were abandoned.
Yes.
Yes. And they were crawling around on stage, because that's what happens
Right.
when
Okay.
you're born. And then they grow up and they are a bit dodgy blokes, they are,
Yeah.
and cause some problems in the neighbourhood. So they got sent to Bel Air. And
I think you're getting a little bit mixed up with
Right.
and you weren't in that.
was I not in the French Prince Bel Air?
No, you weren't. No.
All right, okay. So
You were in something that
they're
sounded
terrible
like
twins,
that.
and they're like, right, society doesn't like us because we keep causing problems. We say it's banter, but everyone else seems to think it's like breaking the law.
I watched this. I'm not sure that this narrative come across when I was sitting there.
I mean, I can't remember much of primary school, but I remember this vividly.
Okay, go on.
I don't remember it vividly. I actually remember it from a third person's perspective.
Jesus
anyway,
Christ. It wasn't Jesus Christ.
No, it wasn't Jesus Christ. Not in any of the plays. So what then happens is they go, right, let's start making our own city, because then we can make our own rules.
Right.
And they decide to make this place. And then they go and like, right, we need to decide whether we're going to call it Rome. Like Romulus, I was Remus, by the way. Romulus is like, all right, I want to call it Rome. And then Remus was like, no, this is obviously the best place, like the word Rheme. That's where the word Rheme comes from. And they thought, I want to call it Rheme.
Yeah.
And then Romulus is like, no, Rheme is a very silly name for a city, which in hindsight, yes, it would be a very silly
Wouldn't be
name
the
for a
same if
city.
it was called Rheme,
No.
would it?
And then, because how would you say all roads lead to Rheme?
All reeds lead to Rome.
Yeah.
No, don't. That's absolutely right.
Yeah,
But, I
and,
suppose it'd be like anything. It's like,
then like he's like, well, this is ridiculous. There's one way to solve this. And then Romulus was like, what? And you do wonder why they gave them such similar names.
Remulus? You've given him an extra name now.
What was his name again?
Remus. Romulus and Remus.
Oh yeah, Remus.
Remulus.
Remus was like, he's like, there's one way to solve this. And Remus was like, what? And Romulus was like, I got stabbed in the back, bro. And Remus was like, ow,
He did
that
kill
hurt. And he died.
Yeah.
And then what happens then is Romulus is like, oh, so sad, Remus has died, but let's remember him by naming the city Rome after me.
Yeah.
And then Remus comes back as a soldier and then fights for Rome.
He comes back as because
Yeah.
you came back.
Yeah, I was also
as
a second
different character, right?
in the
Yeah,
same
that's
play.
not actually that made it sound like we're back to the woman marrying the ghost again.
Was that
Anyway, well,
accurate?
look, I'll check it back to what I've got here. So Romulus and Remus founded Rome. Romulus murdered Remus because of Rome. Because he wanted to call it Rome, I think that was. The bottom line is, though, if it was called Remus or Rheme, and it was always called Rheme, we wouldn't take any notice of it, would we?
Is a rose
It's like it could be called Flange.
Is a rose so sweet? Is a rose still so sweet by any other name? I think Shakespeare once wrote.
Christ. Anyway, that's the second time I've used that.
Isn't that Romeo and Juliet?
Maybe.
I bite my thumb at.
Are you sure you got Romeolius and Julietius?
That's very
right,
good.
but look, basically,
I'm surprised you didn't go with Romeolus and Julius.
allegedly they founded Rome, right? Or he founded Rome. Then
Well,
they started
yeah.
expanding Rome because they quite like the idea of expanding that out and out and out. Not in a pleasant way most of the time. Quite often they were like going out and dragging people back in to form part of their new city. They did have democratic elections, but that was a little bit further on. But they needed to get increasing numbers. They needed to start to build, and they did that in a rather aggressive
in fairness,
way.
to have a democratic election, you need to have the people there to do it.
Yes, but in a way, to form a democracy by doing something very undemocratic in order to be able to get to that position is a bit of a what do you say? Juxtaposition. Yeah.
It's an interesting way of wearing your glasses.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at something. Obviously, they built a wall. They didn't build a wall. They built a wall around Rome as well.
Yeah, the walls of Rome.
Yeah, and basically, because they were going out and pillaging other places within Italy. Yeah.
Wow,
at
we're
the
so in
time.
sync.
Yeah, I had to think then where Rome was. They were going out, so they were going into different particular parts of Italy and killing and doing naughty things and then dragging people back and all the rest of it. They also started going to war with other countries, and North Africa they started hitting, and other countries. I think, where did I write down here? Well, obviously they came here, didn't they, to England and Wales, where we are, or rather we were in England, or we are in England. England, Wales, Spain. I don't know what I'm talking about. Spain, France, Greece, Middle East, and North Africa. And they were quite successful in that as well, because they seemed to be very organised in what they did. The
Yeah.
Romans, once they started
Lovely
establishing,
helmets
and
and
they were
stuff.
lovely helmets. In fact, I think the loveliest of helmets. I like Viking helmets, but there's something quite special about a Roman centurion's helmet. Yeah, it's
Right,
just
we
incredible.
are in sync.
Yeah, no, I think it is. I think it's rather splendid. Anyway, they arrived in Britain, or Britannia as it was at the time, in 43 AD.
Right.
Left between 388 and 400 AD. So obviously they drifted off. I don't think they all went at once. I think they left a few people behind. No one was quite sure how many people were there. They had a bit of a rough time while they were here. And initially they got a bit of a beating. Then they brought some elephants over, because it seems to be if you've got elephants in your team, then you do all right.
Although, try and tell the people of Middle Earth that, because the orcs had elephants, didn't they?
They did have elephants,
And
yeah.
they lost.
Yeah, but they had orcs on them. Well, they didn't have orcs on them. They had people from the place where the elephants come from, who were more human-looking than.
And in
than
fairness,
orcs.
the
I can't think
elephants,
what they
not
were called.
elephants.
They were, yeah. Anyway, we had a go at them. Famously, Boudica, or Boadicea, as I knew her when I was at school. Or why they changed things like that, I don't know.
Didn't change it.
They did change it.
No,
we were taught
sorry.
Boadicea.
Yeah, so they didn't change anything, though, because it was already her name. They didn't change her name, did they?
Well, they didn't change her name. They
They
changed
just-
the pronunciation.
No,
of
they
her
didn't
name.
change the pronunciation of it, and it's pronunciation, by the way.
A punch you in the face.
If you could
and
reach.
that's face. Go on.
Facky?
Bleep
Sorry.
that out now.
Sorry, no, they didn't change the pronunciation of it. What they did is they go, it was probably more likely to be pronounced like this.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think you're wrong. Anyway.
Right, okay. Whack the desk.
Yeah, just whack that desk. So they had to go back because obviously they were being attacked by people within their own country, and there was, a bit of an uprising and all the rest of it.
Every day, in every way, the things people do, the things people say, just irritate me, please sedate me. These are the things that really get my goat.
People who say, "Oh my days," all the time. So I said about the way Rome fell, and it fell for various reasons, really.
I think that'd say raisins.
Various reasons, yeah. What basically happens, right, is they build up this empire, they build up this government, this structure within it, and as soon as you start doing that, then you've got, and I say the word men, because it probably was at the time,
Still is.
can be easily corrupted. And so one of the things that brought down the Roman Empire was corruption within the Roman Empire, because men are weak, and when things are put in front of them, they fall.
That's why Beyonce, I think it was her, once said, "Who runs the world? Girls, girls."
Yeah, right, and that'd probably be a lot better if they did.
Yeah.
They were being attacked by I seem to be barbarians.
Barbarians.
They were being attacked by barbarians. They were being attacked by lots of different people. There was a slave uprising
Yeah.
because they'd had enough in the end. And,
I mean, I would be pretty.
Oh, absolutely. And basically, the main reason was they overstretched themselves. It's the same old problem that everybody does. They basically thought, we want to be there, we want to be here, we want over there, and all that. And they just didn't have the amount of men, the amount of leaders. They just overstretched it,
Yeah.
and came a cropper because of that.
I mean, just look at the British Empire, Phil.
Exactly. And so do many like that. So that's why it went. That's why it disappears.
So this is why devolution is such a big thing, because even when you look at things like the United States, such a big country, being run by in one particular place doesn't work. That's why each state almost has its own laws.
Well, certainly over there, yeah.
Yeah. But
Mind
sorry.
you, ridiculous laws.
Yeah.
The legacy, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason that so many people know so much about the Romans, or at least can refer to something in their area or something that, you know, they see when they go into town or something like that, is because there's still a lot of stuff there. There's still a lot of artifacts there from the Roman times, but also things that they did, things that they invented, things that they brought to this country.
Can I say something I just came across on Twitter the other day?
Can.
And this wasn't in the previous podcast, but I came across something on Twitter. Basically, like, it was a supermarket, and in the middle of the supermarket, there was just these Roman columns just standing in the middle. And people were going like, why are you kind of desecrating the Roman columns and stuff like that? And actually, it might not necessarily have been this, but things like that.
Yeah.
Might not necessarily been Roman, but
wow, this is
it's really going off, isn't it?
Yeah.
But why would you desecrate something like that by building all these kind of things around it and stuff like that? But some of these places were so large that if you weren't to do that, they're trying to conserve these things, but you also need to have other things there as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like,
always quite weird when you see
like the
modern
Romans,
and old
you see it in
next
London,
to each other.
don't you?
Yeah,
We spoke
all the
about it
time.
on that podcast.
Yeah, excuse me.
But having you want to keep the history there, but it's just not plausible to completely ignore areas that are so massive.
Yeah,
because of that.
Anyway.
Carry on.
Right, so their legacy, what other things that they gave us, you know, and famously, what did the Romans ever do for us? Well, shops, trade. It was very much something, I know it was happening all over the world, but very much more structured. And they really, as far as fast food was concerned and street food and that, they had a lot of different stuff like that. McDonald's, well, like TK Maximus.
Yeah.
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 Cafe Nero. That came from the Roman times.
Cafe Nero?
Yeah.
Where's the joke there?
Oh, and there's none. Nero. It was an Emperor Nero.
Right, okay.
Okay. Well, it's not all jokes.
Not all jokes?
No, it's not all jokes. This is like fact. Marcus Aurelius and Spencer's.
That's your favourite one, isn't it?
No, it isn't. TK Maximus is my favourite one. I should have laughed after that one. So those sort
that
of
was
things.
another one that came from the previous
record. It did, but it still makes me laugh now. Advertising and trademarks. They were very much, you know, bringing stuff like that forward. Plumbing and sanitation. Now, in this country, we have a history of rather unsanitary behaviour.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we didn't have plumbing, we didn't have, and even sort of a long while
to be honest, I
we
thought the
still
Italian,
didn't have.
you can tell the Italians came up with plumbing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Just Mario.
Oh, right, okay. He's a plumber. Yeah. But, you know, that when you think about some of the places around this country that still have the baths, like Roman baths,
such as Bath.
Such as Bath, you know, it's not just called that. It's not a coincidence. There are some baths there. So the sanitation. Towns, really, because we had settlements and that, and when they come over here originally, they set up larger towns with, you know, buildings that would have people.
Helps with social mobility, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, the buildings will be like the leaders will be in one building. There'd be other stuff. There's committee meeting in other buildings. Blah, blah, blah. They'd have all this sort of thing.
That is such an interesting thing, though, because when you consider the fact that, and I mentioned social mobility, but it's true, because if you look at somewhere like a village, even nowadays in this country, someone living in a village, the opportunities they've got available to them are so slim compared to the opportunities available to someone living in a town, although Southend's now becoming a city, or London or something like that, or we're on the outskirts of London so we can travel there. Like, you could grow up here and be anything you want to be, but there's still some things in, like, such as villages, which I love little villages, but when you actually look at the jobs available to them, there's probably not that many unless they move.
Right. No, that's true. That is true.
And that's a big thing that you say about the Romans introducing larger settlements. That has actually been a great improvement globally.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Architecture.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Roads. Now, obviously, when you drive around in this country, there are particular times where you can tell where it's a Roman road because they're very straight roads, you know. And when we've been on holiday and that, and you're driving in sort of the West Country, and I can remember particular ones there that are like it. Currency. Obviously, they started introducing that sort of
comes
thing.
in with trade really as well, doesn't it?
It does. It's a more sort of, I don't know, a structured way of doing things. Like, then no longer are we coming over and saying, you know, I'll give you a, can I have some of that milk from that cow? What have you got to? We had the bartering system.
Yeah, I'll trade you my firstborn child for that milk, kind of thing.
Exactly. And my sandals, whatever's worth the most. Latin. Obviously, language was a big thing as well because they did talk, the Romans.
Did they?
Yeah,
did they create words?
Culture. Yeah, they didn't create words, no, but they obviously, Latin is used a lot still in this country. I mean, you should be taught.
Latin isn't used a lot,
but it's used within things now.
It's a lot of languages derived from Latin, a lot of English languages.
Yeah. Well, no,
and a lot of other languages around mostly Europe.
Yeah, no, it's mostly Europe as well. But you know, they were quite a sophisticated nation, really. Yeah. Quite a sophisticated in the way they did things. I mean, but obviously, as we've said, they overstretched and they were fallible.
So you're talking about legacies and stuff like that as well, and I'm thinking about things that have come from them. So, like the solar system. They didn't invent the solar system.
Oh, right, okay. I was thinking that was
didn't know if you were, but
is that something you saw on Twitter as well?
Yeah, they didn't create the solar system, but there's a lot of things that in the solar system that, when you consider the fact that how interested they were in it, which is similar to another one Egyptians, wasn't it? Like a similar kind of thing, an interest in what's going on up there.
Yeah, up there in the sky.
Many of our planets and other things inside the solar system are named after gods of theirs, and their gods are very similar in a way to that of the Greek gods, I've noticed. And I think we'll probably go into Greek gods a bit more in the future.
There seems to be equivalents to each particular one. Yeah.
Like you've got people like Zeus, and in which case I think I wouldn't say, because Zeus is like the god of gods, really, isn't it?
God of gods, yeah.
But then you got Jupiter, which
god.
I don't know if you know, but there's a planet named Jupiter.
There is a planet named Jupiter,
and it's the god of the sky. And you know, Jupiter was married to Juno, who was.
No, do I know what?
Actually, I think they were married. Jupiter was married to Juno.
I don't know.
Juno.
No,
Juno.
I don't know.
Juno,
yeah?
Queen of.
No, I don't.
Queen of the gods.
Oh right, okay.
You got Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his rings.
Yeah.
Was the god of time.
God of time.
It's the god of time, yeah.
Right, okay.
Neptune.
Yeah.
God of the
god
seas.
Of fish. Right, okay.
Yeah. So that's why that
it's
Neptune.
It's like a quiz,
yeah.
Go on then.
Pluto.
God of dogs.
God of the underworld. You're close.
All right, okay.
That's where. So I've always thought with Pluto being named Pluto, it was kind of like Hades type thing.
Yeah, Hades would be the equivalent, I guess.
Venus.
Yep.
There's been paintings of Venus. You know when she comes out that shell.
So god of love,
yep.
Goddess of
god
love.
It actually says god of love, but it's meant to be goddess of love and beauty.
Yeah.
I don't know that one. Mars.
A day helps you work, rest, and play.
God of war.
Oh right, yeah, that's it. Well,
Red planet.
And Ares would be
red planet.
Ares would be the equivalent in Greek mythology, I imagine.
I imagine so. I think basically they've stemmed from very similar kind of concepts, because you got Mercury is one of the ones that real kind of makes me think it's similar, because Mercury is the messenger of the gods, and I believe he had wings on his feet, much like Hermes.
Hermes, yeah.
Yeah, DPD, yeah. Apollo,
yep,
god of the sun.
Right, okay.
There's some other ones like Minerva, goddess of wisdom, Diana, goddess of the hunt, Ceres, goddess of agriculture and familial love. However, I've realised I was talking away from the mic then because I was looking at my computer screen.
Yes, you were.
They're the main ones being the ones that...
Well, their calendar... they had that beliefs like that, and their calendar was sort of... We think about Augustus and as far as August was concerned.
Yeah, he was a bit annoyed. He wanted an extra month, so he thought, well, I'll make a new one.
July, Julius Caesar.
They made 2, didn't they?
No, there's more than that.
Well, no, there's more months, but they already existed.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that Roman
they were quite
emperor came in and went, I want to make 2 more.
God-fearing society, and worried about particular things. In fact, they had a. I was reading
I was about to say something really horrible then, but I won't say it.
They were reading about. I was reading about the fact that they wore particular things. They wore phalluses, right, around their necks as lucky charms. I saw them as lucky charms.
I don't wear mine around my neck.
Huh?
I don't wear mine around my neck.
No. And they also hung these phalluses in their doorways as kind of wind charms to ward away the evil spirits.
So maybe what people were doing when they like graffiti these phalluses on things or like draw it inside your workbook at school, they're actually just trying to ward off
evil spirits.
Yeah.
Well, they missed a trick because if they're going to put them up as wind chimes, they should have called them wang chimes, shouldn't they?
Amazing.
Yep. They're also...
What are boobs?
What? I don't know. But they saw phalluses as being something that... I don't know. Perhaps they had a lot of spare phalluses that someone had made and they'd not used for other stuff. Actually,
they're probably
was
easier
it the
to
Greeks or the
identify
Romans that were lopping off the genitalia of statues? Did one of the emperors or actually do that? Go around and
I thought they put leaves over them.
Remove them. Yeah, but no, they put leaves over the damage that had been done to them. Oh. So basically, they'd someone had come up and knocked off their doodahs.
I like that Specsavers advert.
Yeah, like the Specsavers advert. They knocked off their doodahs and then
think it's light switch.
Then a thing was put over the top of them to cover the damage, which was the fig leaves. I'm pretty sure that's a Roman one as well. So perhaps it was all those, didn't know what to do with them, started making necklaces.
No, maybe.
Makes perfect sense when you think about it.
I was thinking that it's a lot easier to draw a male phallus rather than the female bits, I imagine.
Yeah.
Because that could be anything you're drawing there.
Yeah. Okay.
Carry on.
Obviously, one of the big things that you see if you look through the stuff is around the gladiators, around the sports that they were into and all the rest of it. They
really into cricket, weren't they?
No, they weren't into cricket. They ate crickets, but they weren't into them.
They don't like cricket.
They don't like cricket. No. Oh no. Although I've read somewhere they love it as well. No, so the Colosseum used to have fights, and a lot of slaves were made into gladiators as well. If there was a particularly strong slave, they put them in there because they were
like
expendable. They weren't
Ragnarok.
Yes, that sort of thing. Yeah, but they used to fight each other, and they used to fight animals. So famously, if you think about the film Gladiator, they had tigers in it. I don't know how many tigers they had in those, but they certainly had lions.
Well, you said about them invading North Africa.
So. I guess there was a potential. But North Africa, they wouldn't have had lions, have tigers either, would they?
No, but I'm talking about the lions.
Oh, lions. Yeah, definitely the lions. Bears.
Yeah. But you can get those from, Europe.
And rather bizarrely, giraffes.
Africa again.
Yeah, but they seem an odd animal to...
If you ever watched a giraffe fight another giraffe, you'll
I have
understand.
seen that, but a giraffe fighting a gladiator, it doesn't seem quite right.
Do you know a giraffe's kick can decapitate a lion?
Well, yeah, I don't doubt.
Very strong animals.
I don't doubt they can do some damage, but they don't seem an obvious choice. They don't seem particularly fierce, and I'm talking about the fact that they want a spectacle, don't they? They want something to look good. And as much as I love all those animals I said, and I wouldn't want them to see them in that sort of environment. It's just horrible. However, I just can't see what the attraction of having the giraffes lolloping around the arena was.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway.
Perhaps that's just me.
What do you want to do now?
Well, we normally would do something around some sort of musical interlude.
A musical number?
Yep. And I've reached down into the same as I had last time, my ancient civilizations bucket of songs, and I've written one about the Romans.
Oh, can I join in on it?
You can do if you want.
All right.
I'll give you the words.
We are the Romans, we run from no men, except those strange ones with the long hair and the kilts. We fight the Vandals, we wear nice sandals, we bathe in smelly oils, perfume and sometimes milk.
Our emperor is Caesar, he's such a diamond geezer. You better hope that when he sees her, his thumbs are pointing up. He wears a handsome toga, he's very fond of yoga. He's got enemies aplenty, beware the Ides of March.
We fought on many fronts against the Goths and Huns. We wore quite fancy helmets with flashy coloured plumes. We were all so pretty saucy, we were partial to an orgy. We would feast on meat and fish and a portion of legumes.
Our emperor is Caesar, he's such a diamond geezer. You better hope that when he sees her, his thumbs are pointing up. He wears a handsome toga, he's very fond of yoga. He's got enemies aplenty, beware the Ides of March.
We built the straightest roads and wear the nicest robes. We built communal toilets so you're comfy while you chat. But if you don't behave, you could end up a slave, fighting gladiators and the odd peed off big cat.
Game time.
Now, what a great song that was, but onto a game.
Onto a game indeed. Okay, so it's the standard stuff. It's the Quizzius Maximus.
Excellent.
Yeah. I have 10 questions or X questions for you around the Roman Empire and things that happened in Roman times.
Now, we've already explained that we had some issues previously.
Yep.
So are these all the same questions I've answered before?
Yeah, some of them.
Oh, right, okay.
But I'll put them in a different order.
Oh, right, so I won't be able to tell.
Probably not. We shall see, won't we? If you do well, it's because you remember them from last time. If you don't do so well, that's just typical, isn't it? Right.
So, I can't... this feels like it's good to do a quiz, but I feel like this isn't the right way to introduce a quiz.
Oh, Sting.
Yeah, you seem to forget.
Yes, please play my Sting.
Who were the Romans? Philosophers, soldiers, engineers. Do you know your history, or is it a mystery? Find out with the questions here.
Okay, let's not mess about then. Are you ready for this?
I wasn't messing about.
Let's test your short-term memory. Question I. What does the following...
Clever, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. What does the following Latin sentence translate into? Quem nascem magnum vocas. Quem nascem magnum vocas.
Are you reading this twice?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Does that mean, does this helmet match my sandals? Or does it mean, I'd like a bath, bring me dairy? Or does it mean, who are you calling Big Nose?
Big nasum vocum semnas. Was that close?
Quem nascem magnum vocas.
Quem nasum magnum vocas.
Does this helmet match my
What was
sandals?
C?
I'd like a bath, bring me dairy, or who are you calling Big Nose?
Does this helmet match my sandals?
That is incorrect.
Oh my god!
Who are you calling Big Nose? It's C. Question II. In Roman times, if you committed murder, you would be put in a sack with which of the following collections? Would you be put in a sack with a bat, chicken, rat and dog? Would you be put in a sack with a snake, rooster, monkey and dog? Or would you be put in a sack with C, a snake, cat, rat and a dog. So it's bat, chicken, rat, dog, snake, rooster, monkey, dog, or snake, cat, rat and dog.
Now, this is a very similar question to one you've had before, and I answered basically saying that it had to be the one with the dog in.
Yeah.
And I've noticed you put dogs in all of them this time.
Yeah, that's how I've got round that one. Sorry, I just whacked my mic. Whack the mic, whack the mic.
Based on previous knowledge, and I know this is a little bit cheaty on the quiz.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's how quizzes work, though, isn't it? Really, based on
cheating,
previous knowledge.
Yeah, go on.
I seem to remember it being a number of exotic animals.
Oh, exotic.
So a dog, cat, monkey, rat combo, whatever it was.
Well, that's not one of them.
Well, the monkey in it.
Bat, chicken, rat and dog. Snake, rooster, monkey and dog. Snake, cat, rat and dog.
B, monkey one.
That's it. That is correct. A snake, rooster, monkey and a dog will put in a bag with you if you murder someone, which is really unfair to all those animals.
Because they're being murdered as well.
They are, in a way, aren't they?
Which I never understand if you murder someone, because don't soldiers murder people?
Yeah, well...
I guess it's a license to kill, isn't it?
License to kill. Right. Question I.
Aye, Captain.
Why would the Colosseum occasionally be flooded? Was it A, for gladiator swimming lessons?
Right, that would be a good one.
Was it B, to cleanse the arena of blood and gore? Or was it C, to create boat battles?
So, the rinsing the arena of blood and gore would make sense.
Yep.
To clean it up a bit. However, I don't think they were that much bothered by it. The swimming one, as amazing as that sounds, I mean, just send them somewhere else to do swimming lessons.
Oh, fair enough.
So, a gladiator arena was about fighting. So really, the boat battles, people going there to watch boat battles.
That is correct. They used to fill it with water, do boat battles. They used to put alligators in the water to make it more
Just
interesting.
because
they could.
Good,
So they had spare animals out the back. The giraffes would be all right at that as well, though, because they've got really long necks, so they won't drown.
And elephants, they can use their trunk as a snorkel.
That's very true. Lions, not so good.
No.
Question IV. Roman graves had pipes leading to the surface, but what was the reason? Was it A, so a birthday cake could be sent down on the appropriate day? Was it B, so food could be sent down daily so they wouldn't starve? Or was it C, so if they weren't dead, they could breathe?
See, the breathing with the birthday cake one is silly, Dad.
Oh, sorry.
The breathing one would make sense, would make logical sense, because if you're concerned that you might be burying someone and they might not actually be dead, you'd want them to have a chance of breathing and also call out to them. Although I do see a problem with that, because eventually surely that would just lead to water going down it and then they drown anyway, so they're going to be dead eventually. However,
they're already dead.
The society sometimes with not knowing things, it strikes me as the food.
So food could be sent down daily so they wouldn't starve. That is correct. Even though they were dead, they used to feed them.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
You don't feed a dead horse, do you?
No.
That's the saying, isn't it?
That's the one, yeah. You can't feed a dead horse, but you can lead it to water. That's the saying. V.
Swag my mic.
Which of these was a real Roman emperor? A, Titus. B, Arceus. or C, Maximus Winkle.
This is the kind of time that Nanny Joyce would be going to you. Why? How do you come up with these really silly things? Why is it so silly?
No, it's not silly. This is educational.
Is
it A, Titus, B, Arceus, or C, Maximus Winkle?
You tried to pronounce the B differently this time to... I imagine it potentially could be that one, but you're pronouncing it slightly differently to make it funnier.
Yeah.
Titus, go for that.
Yes, that's correct. In Roman times... Oh, sorry, this is VI. In Roman times, left-handed people were considered A, unlucky, B, gay, C, lucky.
Left-handed people were unlucky, gay, or lucky?
Yeah.
Unlucky. My mic's dropping. Can you see this?
Oh my God, what's happening there?
It's
Got
so
a
far
droopy
away.
mic.
I do apologise if this podcast has been me gradually getting quieter, but I've just noticed my mic
I
was
think people
falling
will be quite
downwards
happy
and
with that.
pointing towards my belly
Who do we
button.
know that's left-handed?
Samuel.
Oh, unlucky, unlucky, unlucky.
He's marrying your daughter.
I know. VII. Caligula tried to install what as a console? Did he try to install A, his favourite chair? B, his sauce? Sorry?
What?
I'm going to start again. Caligula tried to install what as a console? A, his favourite chair. B, his horse. Or C, 2 dormice, both called Keith.
Amazing, that last one. Because it's a big coincidence that they're both called Keith as well.
Yeah, well, he was mad.
Yeah.
I think everything he owned was called Keith.
And I'd be
Even
worried
his
if
chair.
I'd be worried if and the horse. I'd be worried if if he did do his sauce, because I don't know what that entails. It's the horse.
It is the horse. VIII. I didn't say about NJ's clock, did I?
I was going to wait until afterwards. I got confused when you said IV.
Yes, because she's got a clock in her house which has got Roman numerals on it, and it goes I. It doesn't go IV.
It's similar to like a
Probably
tally
worth
chart.
a fortune. Yeah, it's like you put a line across like a gate.
But it goes to V, doesn't it?
It does go to V then, yeah. Anyway, VIII. Latin again. I've actually written that. Latin again. What does this phrase translate to? Tum. Farciminus. Similia. Novitas. Plumbum. I'm going to say that again. Tum. Varciminis. Similia. Novitas. Plumbum.
I'm going to be honest, you saying it again, I don't think that helped at all, because you pronounced it even worse the second
I
time.
know. Is it A, 2 of my friends are exotic dancers? Is it B, my wife has run off with the postman? Or is it C, your sausage looks like a novelty pencil?
Read the first one again.
2 of my friends are exotic dancers.
I'm going to go for that one.
It's your sausage looks like a novelty pencil. It's
See,
incorrect.
I'm wondering in Latin where they got the word, like it's quite an old language, and sausages weren't around, nor pencils.
I'll put it in a translator thing, right? That's what it told me
Right.
it was. Don't argue.
I guess it's modern Latin.
Maybe. IX, penultimate one. What was the average life expectancy of a Roman gladiator? Was it A, 25 years old? Was it B, 30 years old? Or was it C, 35 years old?
See, I can't see a gladiator. I can't see most of society living much beyond 40 odd to 50. So I would say a gladiator, essentially being taken from slavery, training up, probably start fighting about, I don't know, 15 maybe. I'm going to go 25.
That is correct. Well done. 25 it is. And here's your final question.
Because a lot of them would die young, and then there'll be some older ones because they just keep beating up the young ones.
That's quite true. Although there were some really famous gladiators.
Like Hulk.
No, really famous gladiators
From
that
the
went on for
Gladiators
some
TV
time. Yeah, Wolf.
Sorry,
And,
I stole your joke there.
And sorry. Yeah, no, it wasn't that I was going to say.
Hulk
I just can't
Hogan.
remember what they call
Wasn't
him.
he a gladiator, or was
No,
he just
he
a
wasn't.
wrestler?
He's a wrestler. You plum bum.
Do you watch wrestling?
No.
There you go.
Question X.
That's a pencil,
What did
wasn't it?
Romans use as an energy drink?
Red Bull.
A, blood. B,
Why do you look so disgusted?
pig dung. C, Redius bullus.
Oh, I see now. This is why you're so upset with me, because I quite literally stole your joke of Redius
What did
Bullius.
Romans use as an energy drink? A, blood. B, pig dung. Or C, Redius bullus.
I'm so sorry, but it's not Redius Bullus.
No, it isn't.
I really do apologise. Pig dung.
That is correct. It is pig dung.
And that wasn't even on the last quiz.
No. There you go. That's the end of my little Roman quiz.
You keep doing that now. Is that a thing now?
I like that. It's my thing now.
Is it your thing?
Yeah.
You gonna wear it around your neck?
I am. Ward off evil spirits and people's fiancés. So, well done. You've done all right there.
Thank you. Better than the first time.
Yeah, better than the first time. It seemed to have improved since last time you did the same quiz. No, it wasn't the same. I did alter a few things and added a few questions. Similar. Yeah, added a few different ones anyway.
Most of them were changed.
So hopefully, you have, I have, everybody has learned a little bit more about the Roman Empire. Probably not, but maybe.
Yeah, you might have learnt that. You never mentioned it earlier, but Romulus and Remus were brought up by wolves. You learned it now. You might have learnt that Nanny Joyce's clock
they
isn't
weren't
quite
brought
right.
up by wolves. They were brought up by a wolf.
Oh yes,
yes.
But the gladiator.
Yes, the gladiator wolf. Yes, they were. So, is there anything else we need to cover before we hopefully save this and it can go out tomorrow?
Well, actually, we have had some messages.
Right. Okay.
Now, one of them we did read out last week,
which arrived by Al. Yeah.
Yep. But we lost it, and another one was written by Al.
Oh, that's good. Good segue. Nice.
So
like
it. Yeah, it was good. Now, I'm going to read out the one that's in relation that we received throughout the week, not the one that we received beforehand.
I'll just sit down in my seat. Go on.
Yeah, you're allowed to sit down in your seat. You didn't have to stand up.
Down in my seat.
Sorry, don't fall out of it though. We're recording a podcast.
What did Al say?
Right, so it's from avid listener, aka Al. Now he said episode 56 ? Is the subject. Now I get the feeling, because he's notified it as a complaint, I get the feeling I'm going to have to read it in an angry voice, but not an angry Al voice because I can't do a Belgian accent. But he goes, "Hi father and son, it's Al here. Thought I'd write in to express my sadness that there wasn't an episode to listen to this week. Forever listening, Al." Very short, potent, does smell a bit.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be sealing it with that kind of stuff. It also says, "P.S. I've also written into Aldi about releasing a penguin biscuit made from Belgian chocolate, but I'm still waiting for a response. Would you help me to make this happen, please, by reading this out?" Well, Aldi, if you're listening, can you make that?
Aldi, why do you make
the penguin biscuit?
Penguin biscuits. They're called seal clubs. I was going to say, and that's something completely different, isn't it? Seal bars. We've already covered this in our.
Yeah, but he wants it to be in penguin biscuit.
A new, different penguin biscuit.
Yeah,
probably
because he's a penguin.
I know he's a penguin, but they already do penguin biscuits.
Just thought I'd explain it to everyone listening that Al is a penguin.
Yeah.
And by the way, I also would like to clarify that Al isn't made up by us. It genuinely is someone writing in.
It is someone writing in, yeah. Well, I don't know what to say about that. I've got a lot of things on my plate at the moment, Al.
You've got no plate.
What am I supposed? I've got to write these podcasts. Yes, they are written. I've got to do all the normal things I do as a husband, a father, a son. And I've also...
What, you're both father and son?
Yeah, I am a son. I've also got a write to Aldi for you. I think me and you need to have a little sit down and have a chat about all this. Right, I've got one here.
That's not an email.
It's not an email. It's something. In the olden days, they used to use a thing called paper. Why am I sounding like Al now? I'm doing the...
That wasn't Al. That was more like Vlad.
Right, was it Vlad? Oh. It's a piece of paper, and on it says, "To father and son."
That's us, though.
Kiss, kiss. Or 20. And on the back... I know, I'll read that at the end, because that's a... So, it starts here. "Dear father and son."
That's us.
"Read the podcast on fireworks," which is Guy Fawkes. Right?
But that was a number of episodes ago.
It was.
But we'll talk about this particular person in a moment.
Pre-war, hope that doesn't give away who's writing this, boys, in inverted comma, mainly used to make guys with old clothes, make a cart with some old pram wheels and a wooden box from the greengrocer. That's a place that sells fruit. Sit the guy in and push him around with a card saying, "Penny for the guy." With a bit of luck, they got a few coppers to buy fireworks. That's not policemen, that's monetary.
Because the policeman wouldn't be able to buy fireworks for them.
Not the fantastic ones you get now. Basically begging. But who cares?
What a great end.
Yeah, there's a great end to it. Basically begging. Well, it is kind of begging, but who cares? And that's absolutely right. So I'm pretty sure...
She was... sorry, carry on.
Because it was handed to me, that's from NJ.
It was sitting on top of a CD, wasn't it? Because this is how... Because Nanny Joyce, we love her a lot, but
she hasn't
bearing in mind that said pre-war on it,
yeah,
tells you as much.
Yeah.
But she hasn't
got a computer, but she has got a CD player. So we burn off a copy of each of the
only
episodes.
person to listen to this by CD, except for you when you drive it there, and maybe Sue when she's around there. But episode 41 was Guy Fawkes, in case anyone wants to go back and listen to that.
I liked that one. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That was another one where I taught you loads. She has put on the back of this, by the way, I really enjoy the podcast. Keep up the good work. So that's lovely to have something like that come through. I must admit, I was chuffed to bits with that.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice.
So there we go.
Love you, Nan.
Love you, mum.
Love you, mum.
Yeah, love you, mum.
You love my mum?
That's it. I do, yeah.
All right.
So that's it for this week.
Well, it is. But what I would like to say is the fact that we had an email there from Al. Now, if anyone else feels so inclined, like another Belgian person or anyone else would like to sending a message to us, they can absolutely do that. And that can be done on fatherandsundays.com. That's fatherandsundays.com. You can go on there, on the contact page, you are able to... there's a form to send a message to us. Now, on that form, you can either choose to send it to us where we don't read it on the podcast, or we do. And then, if you just don't want us to read it out loud, then that's absolutely fine. But you can leave a comment, question, complaint, suggestion, whatever. You can do that on there, and we'll give it a read. But if you don't want to go through the website, you can also do it. Contact us at fatherandsundays.com by email. But they both come through to the same place anyway, so we'll check them. But the website is a great place. You can listen to all the episodes on there. You've also got links to all the different platforms that you can listen to us on, because you can listen to any of this podcast on any platform, really. A What's New page that hasn't got anything new on it recently, about page. And there's also a store if you want to help support the podcast just by buying a little something. Just helps keep us going, because this is like getting on for a year now. Well, we've been doing it over a year now, and obviously it does cost money to run it, so any little bit does help anyway.
Any little bit that you can help us with, and there are some quality stuff.
We are looking to add some more stuff to it as well.
We will do indeed.
Yeah, I know I've been promising that for a while, but I will be doing it.
Yep. Okay.
But Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like and follow us on those, share us, tell your friend, leave a review on the podcast platform you use.
All the rest.
But tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Okay.
Or tell an enemy. Either one.
Yeah, that'll do. Right. Okay. So let's say our goodbyes. Goodbye.
All right.
See you next week.
Bye.